Tuesday, where you guys decide what piece of nostalgia we'll be talking about. So I know that I'm not in my normal location right now. That's because I'm not at home. I'm actually house sitting for some friends, and this is their bedroom, so that's why it looks a little bit different. So, since last week's Time Travel Tuesday, I got so many votes in the comment section. You guys are awesome, and I really enjoyed reading all of your votes for this week's topic. So I want to tell you which ones made it into the top 5, because there were so many good ones. So the number 5 vote was for The Goonies. Number 4 was for Star Wars. Number 3 was Disney movies. Number 2 was Legend of Zelda. Number 1 was Pokemon. So, if you are not a big Pokemon fan, stick around, because I actually was never really much of a Pokemon fan myself. I never really played the game or watched the show or any of that. But when I started learning about the franchise, I came up with a lot of really, really fascinating information. A lot of cool facts that you probably would be surprised to know, so I definitely encourage you to stick around. So, before I get started though, I do want to say one thing. I noticed that so many comments, so many votes were for nostalgia items from the 90s. Now, that's fine with me. I can talk about the 90s all day long because I love the 90s, and I'm a 90s baby myself. However, I don't want to isolate all of you who maybe grew up in the 70s or the 80s or even in the new millennium. So, in the future, I'll be trying out a themed vote where I'll say, okay guys, tell me your favorite, or vote on your favorite 80s pop culture. Or I can get more specific and say, what's your favorite 80s toy? Or your favorite 70s TV show? That kind of thing. Cool. So I'll definitely let you know when that happens. So I'm going to take a quick sip of water real quick. Okay. So I'm going to tell you everything I know about Pokemon. So, Pokemon is published and owned by Nintendo. It was created in 1996 by a man named Satoshi Tajiri. And I think that's how you say his name. Now, Pokemon is just a sort of a abbreviated way of saying pocket monsters. Pokemon. So Pokemon is the second most successful video game franchise, video game based media franchise in the entire world. And it's only behind Mario, which is also owned by Nintendo. So obviously, the people at Nintendo are doing okay. So there are Pokemon video games, and then there's books, movies, an anime TV show, manga, and of course, a trading card game. Now, when I was a kid, is when Pokemon started becoming really popular. And I had a lot of male friends for some reason. I had a lot of friends who were boys. But they all loved Pokemon a lot. And they all tried to get me to play, and I could never muster up enough interest to actually learn to play the game. I would end up just looking at the pictures on the cards of the cute little animals, or monsters, whatever they are. And I had a friend named Julian who was really, really trying to get me into Pokemon, and I just didn't care. But I liked this one particular card that he had, this one little monster. And he was called Alakazam. And I thought he was really neat looking. And I liked him because he carried spoons around. And I actually still don't know why he carried spoons around. But I liked him, and so Julian let me have one of his Alakazam cards. And I kept it for a long, long, long time. I might even still have it somewhere. So, Tajiri was sort of inspired to create Pokemon by a few things. As a kid, he loved insect collecting. And I think he must have done it with his friends, kind of as a hobby, and done some trading and whatnot, because when he was older and he came across the Game Boy handheld game console, he was really excited when he saw 2 Game Boys linked with a link cable. And he thought, what a great way for people to play games, not just against each other, but together, and have that sort of communication and connectivity. And then he sort of combined that with his love of collecting little creatures, I guess. And that's pretty much how Pokemon was born, conceptualized. So he brought the idea to Nintendo, and Nintendo thought, that sounds pretty cool, but we'd have to see it first. So for the next 6 years, Tajiri and the company that he had started worked on producing Pokemon, and almost completely went bankrupt in the process. And he actually didn't even collect a salary from his company in that time. He just lived off of his father. His father supported him, which is very kind. So once the Pokemon games finally did come out, Nintendo's sales weren't doing very well at the time. And they didn't really expect Pokemon to be very successful. But Pokemon did really, really well. And that was in part due to a character called Mew. Mew is kind of a little adorable little cat creature thing. I think he's kind of light pink or light blue. Mew was put into the game. He's programmed in by one of the programmers, sort of as a joke, like as a prank. After production was supposed to have stopped and the game was supposed to go out, one of the programmers put him in at the last minute. And he was only supposed to be able to be found by staff members. But due to glitch in the game, players of Pokemon Red Green, I think, could actually find Mew. So Tajiri thought, well, even though this was kind of an accident, this would still make a great marketing tool. Because it creates sort of a mystery, some hype around the game. Because everyone's going to be looking for this hidden character. And that actually really increased sales. And Mew is one of the most popular Pokemon monsters because of it. I'm gonna open up my new pack of cards for you. So this is a pack of 15 cards, plus one promo card. Didn't want to drop that little piece. This is my very first, well, it's not a deck, but it's my very first pack of cards. I'm very excited to see what's inside. Because it doesn't tell you what's on the inside, it's just random. So I want to tell you some really interesting things that I learned about Pokemon. There's a very infamous day in Pokemon's history. And this was in 1997. One day in 1997, over 600 children were admitted to the hospital with epileptic seizures. And it turns out these children's seizures were triggered by an episode of the Pokemon cartoon that featured a scene with a lot of flashing red and blue lights. That was in the first season of the show. And I'm pretty sure that episode wasn't ever aired again. Or if it was aired much later. And they took it off the air for a while. That episode has been parodied by South Park, I think, and The Simpsons. That was pretty bad for PR. Something else that I found really interesting was that, well, when Pokemon battle, when they're defeated, they're knocked out. But they're not killed. They're basically just fainting. And I thought that was just to keep things kind of kid-friendly. But I learned that Satoshi Tajiri had a much more specific reason for sort of making it that way. He believed that it was unhealthy for children to associate the concept of death, of dying, with the idea of losing a game. So he didn't want kids to think, I guess, when you die, you've lost, or something bad has happened, or something scary has happened. I guess he probably felt that death is a natural part of life, and it's not something that should be feared or I don't know, run away from. And I kind of like that. Because even though it can be scary to think about, it happens to everybody. And it's probably best to try and understand it and embrace it rather than be afraid of it. I think that's a pretty mature concept for children to grasp, of course, but I kind of like that he was trying to, he knew that he would be influencing children with his games, and he wanted to do his part to help sort of shape their minds in a positive way. With Pokemon. Now I learned something else on a much darker note. The people who live there have these really cool little glasses. I like them a lot. I like their shape. So, there is a really spooky urban legend about the Pokemon Red-Green game. I hope I'm not offending any of you who collect these cards. Maybe I'm not supposed to bend them like this, but I'm being gentle, I promise. Anyway, there's an urban legend about Pokemon Red-Green. The urban legend goes like this. In 96, I believe, when the game came out, there was a sudden 100 children, supposedly, committed really upsetting suicides, either by hanging or jumping off of buildings and bridges and that kind of thing. And there were also reports of other children having severe nausea, headaches, emotional distress, that kind of thing. And it's said that the cause of this phenomenon was Pokemon Red Green, because there's a point in the game where you get to a place called Lavender Town. Lavender Town is a sort of graveyard, a Pokemon graveyard, that's haunted by the ghosts of deceased Pokemon. And in that part of the game, there's a tune that's playing that's a spooky little song. And according to the legend, there was a frequency in that song that was so high that it could only be heard by young children and teens, since their ears can pick up higher frequencies than adults. And the legend says that the song drove these children insane. And made them do crazy things. Usually when the game was taken away from them. And the theme song from Lavender Town, I believe, actually was changed not long after the game was released. So that's super creepy. And it's probably not true, but even so, I don't want to leave you guys on a creepy note. So I'm going to show you some of my new cards. I'm going to tell you as much as I know about playing the games. Okay. I'm going to try and show you one of each type of card. Looks like I'm missing a couple types. That sucks. I'll show you what I got. Okay. This is what's called a basic Pokemon. You can see that right here. And his name's Mankey. And let's see. I he was one of the original, one of the first 151 Pokemon. Yeah, I'm not sure. Now, there are 3 types of Pokemon cards. Well, there's more than 3, but there are 3 types of actual monster cards. There's the basic, and then stage 1 and stage 2. Looks like in this deck I didn't get any stage 2 cards to show you. But a basic Pokemon can evolve into a stage 1 Pokemon, which is more resilient, stronger. Stage 1 Pokemon can evolve into a stage 2 Pokemon, which is even stronger than that. And the Pokemon all have types. And I always forget what this one is called. But you can tell his type by this little symbol right here. This little red symbol. And it's in the shape of a fist, and I think... oh, what is that? You'll have to tell me if you know, but it's a muscle type, strength type, something like that. Sorry. And Mankey, you can tell right here, has a weakness to psychic type Pokemon. I think it's psychic. That little I means. That means if he's attacked by that type of Pokemon, he's gonna take extra damage because he's weaker. He has a weakness to those. And he's got 50 hit points. And he's got 2 different attacks. He's got punch and karate chop. Right here is the cost of each attack. The punch only costs 1 energy, colorless energy. And the karate chop costs 1 of whatever kind of energy that is, I can't remember. And 1 colorless energy. And he looks kind of like a angry pig monkey who wants to karate chop you. Okay. Now this is a stage 1 card. And I think this is my promo card because it's shiny. I think that's what that means. Now this is a Selgor. And he evolved from the basic Pokemon Shelmet. You can see him right here, Shelmet. He's like a little snail that is inside of a helmet. He's adorable. So Selgor is a little bit stronger than Shelmet. And he's got 90 hit points. And you can see this little leaf right here. Tells you that he's a grass type Pokemon. And he's got 2 times weakness to fire type Pokemon. So if he's attacked by a fire type Pokemon, then he's gonna take twice the damage that they deliver. So you can see that he looks a little bit like Shelmet, but just kind of tougher and angrier. As I've been learning about Pokemon, I learned that my favorite Pokemon, Alakazam, is a stage 2 Pokemon that evolved from Kadabra, who evolved from the basic Pokemon Abra. is what you need in order to have your Pokemon attack and other things. So you'll attach this energy card, which I believe is a psychic energy card, to a psychic type Pokemon. And that will power their attacks. So I'll show you. So here is Metapod. He's a stage 1 Pokemon. And Metapod has an attack called Sharpen. And that does... Is that an attack? Well, it does 20 damage to its opponent. But as you can see, the energy cost is 2 colorless energy. So that means you need 2 energy cards for him to be able to use this attack. If it has this colorless symbol, that means that you can use any form of energy card. So in this case, I would attach 1 psychic energy, another psychic energy, because that's all that I have in this deck, or pack, I mean. And this way I can use his Sharpen attack. And that's what energy cards are for. Oh, okay, Metapod. I didn't know this. Metapod is stage 1, evolved from Caterpie. It was right there. And I like Caterpie because it's really cute. And I like the name Caterpie. One of my favorite things about Pokemon are their names. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed that I don't have any trainer cards to show you. I'm surprised they didn't include any trainer cards in this pack. I'll show you a couple more that I think are cute at least. This is Blitzel. And Blitzel is a lightning type Pokemon, right? Yeah. With 60 hit points. And he looks kind of like a little horse, antelope, donkey. Zebra. And he's got 2 times weakness to that type of Pokemon that I can't remember what it's called. The one with the fist. And I want to show you one that has resistance too. But none of these do. Oh, here we go. This one's really cute. His name's Rufflet. And he looks like a maniac. Yeah, he's a crazy bird, chicken eagle. And he's got 60 hit points. And his attacks are peck and slash. And he's got 2 times weakness to lightning type Pokemon. But he has negative 20 resistance to the fist one. Strength type. Whatever it's called. Now what that means is if he is attacked by this kind of Pokemon, whatever damage the attack does, you get to subtract 20 hit points from. This is adorable. His name's Ducklet. I'm sorry I'm only showing you the cute ones, but they're so cute. He's a little happy, splashy blue duck. And he just wants a hug, I think. He doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to battle. He just wants to splash around and have fun all day long. Okay, oh, so he's a water type Pokemon. You can see right here his little water symbol. With 60 hit points, although I don't know why anyone would ever hit him. Because he's precious. And he's got weakness to lightning type Pokemon and resistance to this type Pokemon. He's got a cute little face. Look at his little face. Oh. Well, this is, I don't know how to say it. Luxio, maybe? Now he's a stage 1 Pokemon that's evolved from Shinx. Yeah, Shinx, who is this adorable little creature right here. And the stage 1s usually look a little bit more kind of intense and powerful and fierce, but I still think that this guy's really cute. And he's a lightning type Pokemon. And let's see. Oh, he has a really cool attack. It's called the Quick Turn. So, for this attack, you flip 2 coins. And for, let's see. Okay, yeah, you flip 2 coins and the opponent takes 20 damage for each heads coin. So, oh no, that's not right. Is it? Attack does 20 damage times the number of heads. So if you got 2 heads, it would be 20 times 2, so it would be 40 damage. But that's risky too, because what if you got no hits? Then you would get no damage. He looks angry lion. He's so cute. I like the little star on the end of his tail. Well, I wish that I had a trainer card to show you, because those are pretty cool. They allow you to do some neat things on your turns. But I'm glad I got to experience my first Pokemon pack opening with you guys. I hope you guys learned something new about Pokemon, because I have been learning so many new things recently. And I've actually found that what I'm telling you about are more interesting than the topics themselves. I'm really enjoying learning about all this background information about these nostalgic things. So I hope you're enjoying it too. So, don't forget to vote in the comments below on what piece of your past you want me to tell you about next week. So I'll be seeing you guys again very soon. Until then,